testimony, I can say with confidence that Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, and the entire subprime mortgage ecosystem did not set out to bring the global financial system to its knees. I can say with confidence that the legitimately brilliant minds and Nobel Prize winners, in fact, behind LTCM, did not set out to trigger the Asian financial crisis, but they nearly broke the global markets. And I can also say with confidence that the deregulation of the early 1980s and bankers did not set out to trigger the savings and loans crises, but it did. Not only that, they all typically founded their logic in innovation, expanding access to financial services, and arguments of inclusion. And yet, they all broke the system. And the people at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder systemically paid the heaviest price. So, you may be speaking earnestly when you tell us the lofty goals, but I was here in Congress when Secretary Paulson came to us and told us we were within days of a complete shutdown of the global financial system. Now, I don't expect you to understand what that was like, but I assure you it was absolutely terrifying and one of my worst moments in Congress. Now, I want America to remain a global leader in financial services and innovation, and I believe that we have regulators, et cetera, that are the best in the world. But let's do this. Let's assume that Facebook manages to get even just 10% of its current user base to the Facebook Libra wallet. Do you understand that that would absolutely make you a systemically risky financial institution, and that we would expect FSOC to designate you as such, and the Fed to create a special regulatory oversight program for Facebook accordingly? Would you agree to this?
Congressman, first of all, I want to recommit. We will actually—
Yes or no? Would you agree to this?
I do want to share that if we had 10% of the Facebook—
I've only got a small amount of time.
I want to answer your question to the best of my ability, Congressman. And if we had 10% of our user base, which is 200 million people, using a Calibra wallet, we would be the same size of many other non-bank payments wallets around the world, including here in the US, including another one that is part of the association.
Let me reclaim my time. You're not answering my question, because even banks, anybody that's holding money would be considered a bank. Well, let me ask this. Do you agree that, defined simply, an organization that holds deposits and makes loans is a bank? Similarly, banks in the past did issue their own currency or IOUs and clear their payments. Finally, some banks are run as nonprofit organizations or cooperatives. Therefore, are both Facebook and Libra organizations planning to establish bank holding companies with full organization and capital structure we require to protect the global financial system from systemic risks and systemic collapse?
Congressman, we will not engage in banking services. We will focus on payments.
Well, you're taking people's money, right? And you're holding their money, correct?
The same way that you have Venmo and PayPal and Square Cash and a number of other payment companies. What
you're telling me is you're not going to organize as a bank. You didn't answer my first question, which would put you under the regulations of FSOC and others, so that we can make sure that there's no systemic risk here because of what you're doing in your size that could bring down the entire federal government, the entire financial services industry. But let me ask you one more. I got 40. In Dodd-Frank, we established the CFPB to serve as a financial regulator focused specifically on the best interests of consumers. Do you believe that the CFPB currently has authority over both the Libra organization and the Facebook Libra wallet? And why did you not conclude, do you think the CFPB have jurisdiction?
Congressman, we're engaged in conversation with all FSOC agencies, including CFPB, and it is not for me to decide who has appropriate oversights. But
so why didn't you did not include compliance with CFPB in your prepared testimony?
Congressman, this is because we're currently engaged with all of these agencies, and I wanted to share where we were right now at this point in time with the knowledge we have at this time. But we will have a more complete outreach by the time we are ready for launch, because we're going to take the time to get this right.